Well, hi, good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, or wherever you are in the world. And thank you very much for coming to join me and um, see what I'm up to this afternoon. And here in England, well, it is afternoon here. Anyway, so what I'm doing today is I'm going to go through the Premier League kickoffs for 3 o'clock with you. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I hope that you're all well and having a great day. And I hope that you're going to enjoy my show. And yeah, it should be quite entertaining because the first one that we did last week, which I did with the old school gunner, was a rip-roaring success, as they say. And yeah, we had a great time, full of drama and full of excitement and thrills and spills and all that sort of carry on. So yeah, so the games we're going to be covering today are Crystal Palace versus Newcastle, Everton versus Watford, Leeds United against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Southampton v Burnley. So that should be quite interesting, I think. I think there's some good games there. So before we do anything else, can I please ask you to make sure you put a like on the video, and also please make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and please make sure you share the video around with as many people as you possibly can. And if you're new to my channel, I'd like to give you a big warm welcome to Warren's Team Talk. I hope that you enjoy what you see and that you'll want to come back again. So anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at the lineups for this afternoon's games, or for the UK time 3 o'clock kickoffs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing that screen there, and I'm going to bring up the first one I've got on my list, which is Leeds against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So let's have a look at the lineups for that one. And there's the lineup here for Leeds United. And I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen that lineup before. A 3-3-3-1 formation. That's a new one on me, but there you go. So that's the lineup. The Leeds have gone for Meslier in goal, a back three of Laurent, Struijk and Cooper, a midfield of Shackleton, Klitsch and Dallas, and then just withdrawn from the main striker, they've got Rafinha, Harrison and James. And then up front, as a lone striker, they've got Rodrigo. So let's check out who Wolves have picked. Well, they've gone for a 3-4-2-1 formation. They've got Mathario, Dessart in goal, a back three of Kilman, Cody and Saiz. And then a midfield four of, well, it looks like a midfield six, actually, to be honest. Nelson, Semedo, Dendonka, Ho and Moutinho, and Ait Nouri, and then Wang Hee Chung, I guess that is, and Traore, and then Jimenez as a lone striker. So it's Wang Hee Chan. So there you go. And then, so the substitutes bench for Leeds, we've got Forshaw, Roberts, Clayson, Phillips, Gelhardt, Hyder, Cresswell, Drammer and Somerville. And then for Wolves, we've got Hoeva, Neves, Podence, Machado, Trincao, Molden, Fabio Silva, Ruddy, Kundal and Campbell. And the referee today for that game is Robert Jones. So So everyone, let's go and look at the next one. So the next game, let's have a look and see the lineups for that one. So we've done Leeds and Wolves. Let's have a look at Southampton and Burnley now. And Leeds and Burnley, Southampton and Burnley. Southampton are going for a 4-1-4-1 formation. They've got a 4-man defence with Livramento, Bednarek, Salisu, Perud, then Romero, and then further forward than that, they've gone for Walcott, Diallo, Elanusi, and Redmond, and then up front on his own, they've got Breuer, and then on their subs bench, they've got Walker-Peters, Silvera, Neves, Vonjanic, Armstrong, Armstrong, Adams, S. Armstrong, Ginepo, Telia, Valerie, and Forster. And then Burnley, they've gone for a 4-4-2 formation with Pope in goal, a back four of Lowton, Tarkowski, Collins, and Taylor, and a midfield four of Brownhill, Cork, Westwood, and McNeil. And up front, they're going for Cornet and Wood. And then on their substitutes bench, they've got Goodmanson, Barnes, Hennessy, Lennon, Rodriguez, Pieters, Bardsley, Vidra, and Long. And the referee for that game is Chris Kavanagh. So let's look at the next game. The next game is going to be... The next game is Crystal Palace and Newcastle. So let's have a look and see what that one's got to offer. So Crystal Palace have gone for a 4-2-3-1 formation, and similar formation to what they had against Arsenal the other night. They've got Guaita in goal, Ward, Anderson, Guaia, and Mitchell in defence. Mihailovic, MacArthur, Olise, Gallagher, and Edouard in midfield, and then Benteke up front on his own. And then on their substitutes bench, they've got Butland, Tompkins, Coyote, Ayew, Zaha, Hughes, Mateta, Schlupp, and Klein. So Wilfried Zaha is back on the bench. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him make an appearance at some point today. And then Newcastle, under their new manager, have opted for a 3-4-2-1 formation. They've gone with Darlow in goal, Krath, Lascelles, and Clark in the defence. And then a midfield of Manquillo, Hayden, Longstaff, and Ritchie. And then two further forward of St. Maximin and Fraser, and up front a lone striker of Wilson. And then on their substitutes bench, they've got Shah, Joe Linton, Lewis, Hendrick, Murphy, Almiron, Willock, Gillespie, and Gale. And the referee for that game is Darren England. So that's that one. So let's see what the lineup is in the final game of the day. So here we go. Let's see if I can get that one up for you. That is Everton versus Watford. And Everton are going for a 4-4-1-1 formation. They've gone with Pickford in goal, Coleman, Godfrey, Keane, and Digne, and then in midfield, and for the defence. And then in the midfield, they've gone for Townsend, Davis, Allen, and Gordon. And then the sort of number 10 role, they've gone for Gray. And up front, they've gone with Rondon. And then on their substitute bench, they've got Kenny, Holgate, Richarlison, Begovic, Iwobi, Gabamin, Lonergan and Dobbin. And then Watford, they're going for a 4-5-1 formation with Forster in goal, Nagakia, Cathcart, Tris Ekon, and Messina in their defence. And then a 5-man midfield of Sarr, Tuffin, Kuka, Sissoko, and Hernandez. Hernandez Suarez, that is. And then a lone striker of King. And then on Watford's substitute bench, they've gone with Lazusa, Cleverly, Juan Pedro, Cerna, Nicolai, Gosling, Fletcher, Dennis, and Bachman. And then the referee today is Graham Scott. So apologies to anyone's name who I have butchered. Sorry, I'm not very good at pronouncing these names, unfortunately. But there you go. So let's get the most important screen up, which is the one that we're going to be using quite a lot of, which is the scores and fixtures one. So let's look at that. So here we go. Yeah, so the games are going to be kicking off in a few minutes. And the big news of the day is that Chelsea absolutely thumped Norwich City by 7-0. Now, I wasn't expecting that at all. And that result is going to give the Chelsea coach a few selection headaches, that's for sure, because Mason Mount scored a hat-trick. Hudson-Odoi, one was a penalty, and he scored 2 in the last 5 minutes. Hudson-Odoi scored 1, James scored 1, Chilwell scored 1, and Aaron's, bless him, scored an own goal. And the game was 3-0 at half-time, but Norwich's Gibson got sent off in the 65 minutes for looks like 2 bookable offences. And I'm sure that result as well is going to give a massive headache to the Norwich manager, because I really don't know where they're going to go from there. So there you go. So we'll keep an eye on that, because that will give us an indication of what's going on in the games. That should help me quite a lot to keep you up to date with what's going on. There we go. So that's that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this. Yeah, so that Chelsea 7-0 victory means that Chelsea are now back top of the table with a 4-point gap over the nearest rivals, Liverpool. They're steamrolling ahead. So let me see if I can get a match up on my phone, which I can keep an eye on, or try to, whilst we're looking at these Premier League matches as well. If it gets too problematic for me, then I'll just stop this game. But yeah, I hope you're all well and everyone's fine and happy. And we've got a chat coming from Tony Blackwell. Tony says, "Good afternoon, Warren. I hope you're well." Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks very much. I hope you're well as well. I've had a massive battle this morning with YouTube. I don't know what's wrong with me these days. I'm just constantly having issues with technology. It does my absolute head in. Particularly YouTube, because it's moving like an absolute madness. So we've got Palace against Newcastle and Leeds v Wolverhampton and I think I'm going to put this one on, the Everton versus Watford game. Yeah, I won't be a second. Yeah, so, yep, looks like they kicked off and Everton are on the attack. Watford are playing in their all red kit. And then Tony says, one of those days, Warren, sounds like Norwich, laugh out another. Yeah, it's an absolute bloody nightmare, mate, to be quite honest. But never mind. But I hope you're well, buddy. It's good to see you. And Daniel Summers says it's kickoff. Yes, mate, it is a kickoff. So that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. Tony Blackwell says, what did you think about last night's game? Easy against the poor Villa side or Arsenal looked good? Mixture of both, mate, to be honest. I think Arsenal played quite well. But I thought, particularly in the first half, Villa were dreadful. And I'm not convinced about that penalty. I thought that was a bit harsh, to be quite honest. But, we've had some dubious decisions go against us in the past as well. But I'm not going to make a song and dance about that. Not like some of our supporters do. But there you go. But what's your thoughts about it? I'm interested to hear what you think. And I'm sure that Terry's like having a street party and going absolutely mental about it. I'm sure he is. Tony says, I'm good, thanks. So let's see. Yeah, so all the games are at 0-0 at present. 2 minutes gone in all the games. No goals as of yet. Everton are on. Oh, they nearly. Have they just scored? Yeah, it looks like Everton have scored. The ball got placed across the penalty area. And, ball got pinged across. And, it was turned in at the near post by... Who's that guy? Davies, is it? Yeah, Davies has scored for Everton. So, and they're showing a picture of Claudio Ranieri, and he does not look happy at all. That was Davies who scored the goal for Everton. So let me just update my score sheet. So that's it looked quite a good goal. The ball was whipped across the area, and Davies just slammed it in at the near post. So good goal there for Everton, really. So I'm sure that James Dunlop will be going absolutely mental because he's at the game today, is James. Bless him. So I'm sure he's enjoying himself. Tony says, totally agree on that penalty decision. Both the ref and VAR couldn't make a decision. It was very close, but I didn't think it was a pen. I thought he got the ball first. Yeah, so did I. If I was a Villa fan, I would have been going mental about that, to be quite frank. James will be pleased, says Tony. Yeah, well, mate, I'm sure he'd be absolutely delighted about it. So, what's everyone's Daniel and Tony? What are your predictions for the games this afternoon? What do you think is going to happen? it will be quite interesting to hear what you think. So Watford are in possession of the ball at the moment, and they're passing it around the back, trying to get a move forward going, but it's gone into touch, and it's a Watford throw-in by the looks of it. So Watford have got a throw-in. And Tony says, I think all the home teams will win, Warren. I think I'm likely to agree with you. The only one where it might not work out like that, as far as in my opinion, is the Leeds Wolves game. But other than that, yeah, definitely. Also looks like my stream has frozen. That's good, isn't it? So let me see if I can get that working again. Two seconds. Yeah, so, yep, looks like Watford have got the ball back in their defence. They're passing it around and trying to get moving again. Palace to win 2-0, says Tony. Everton to win 2-1. Leeds to win 1-0, and Southampton, same score, 1-0. Yeah, I can't remember what I predicted for those games, to be quite frank, but I think I put Palace to win 2-1. I thought Everton would win this game, again, probably by 2-1. Leeds and Wolves, I thought it might be a draw. And then Southampton and Burnley, I think I put a 1-0 win for Southampton, to be frank. So, and Everton are on the attack. A bit of a heavy touch there from the striker, and they lose. Everton have lost possession. Let's see if there's anything else going on. So it looks like the Everton goal, the early goal in the Everton game's the only goal so far in the 3:00 kickoffs. Mind you, we can't really complain given him that Chelsea put 7 past Norwich. Dear oh Lord, my mate Mick, he's going to be absolutely going ballistic. Yeah, so all the other games are still at 0-0. Everton are 1-0 up, as we know. And it looks like there's been a bit of drama in the Watford penalty area. Someone's got a clout on the head. That was Davis. But it looks like he's running about and he's fine. So that's good news. No, sorry, it was in the Everton penalty area, not the Watford penalty area. So Everton are passing the ball around nicely at the back and starting to move forward. And the goalkeeper launches a long ball up the field. It's out on the left-hand side. He moves inside, plays a 1-2 with another midfield player, and there's a shot there from outside the box, which the goalkeeper saves quite comfortably, parries it away, and the cross comes in again, and Gordon sends a header quite wide, but the Watford goalkeeper is reprimanding his defence. So Everton look quite on top in that game, to be quite frank. And then we got what do you think about the game this afternoon, the Brighton and Manchester City game, Tony? And then, obviously, as well, we've got the on Sunday, we've got the Brentford and Leicester game, West Ham and Tottenham and Manchester United and Liverpool. Have you got any thoughts about those ones? I think that Manchester United Liverpool game is going to be an absolute belter of a game, but I don't know. I'm quite fearful for United at the moment because they're not playing well, are they? So I think they might run into a spot of bother. But seems to me that Ollie is running into a spot of bother, and it looks like it looks like Mikel Arteta. It's very similar insofar as that when their jobs appear to be on the line, they just suddenly out of nowhere pull a result out of the bag, a positive result out of the bag. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if suddenly from nowhere United put in a really good performance and win the game against Liverpool. But you never really know, really, to be honest. And Tony Blackwell says, I think Brighton will hold their own, but I can't see them getting anything out of City. No, neither can I. And the problem is, I think that they're struggling to get a cutting edge up front. They seem incapable of taking their chances in games. Case in point, what I mean by that is that game against Arsenal a couple of weeks ago when they absolutely dominated possession, but they just couldn't finish. I think they had about 20 odd shots on goal, but didn't take one of them. So, if they get a chance against City, they need to make sure that they take it, because I think otherwise City are going to rip them apart, to be quite frank. And then Tony's saying United always raise their game against Liverpool. They will say it's to save Ollie's job. Yeah, it's one of these weird ones, isn't it? Where they've done it a lot in the past as well. These types of games are always a bit tricky. And I think there's been a goal at Goodison Park. I think Watford might have scored because they're all celebrating. Yeah, it looks like Watford have scored. Let's just get that up. Yeah, Watford have scored. The ball came across the penalty area and it was headed on, and then a chap turned it in at the far post. Yes, it got turned in at the far post. So that's Everton 1. It's now Everton 1, Watford 1. So let me just update the score. Oh, they've gone to a VAR check. So let's just see what the VAR check says. So they're looking. And I think it's checking for potential offside. And it looks like I think it's going to be disallowed, to be quite frank. Yeah. Still checking. So I don't know why it's taking so long. No, the goal's been given. So it's 1-1. It's Everton 1, Watford 1 at Goodison Park. And that's fantastic news for Claudio Ranieri. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely delighted. So let's see what else. Oh, and there's been another 2 goals. There's been a goal at Wolves as well. Sorry, the Leeds Wolves game. Wolves have gone 1-0 up. So let me just update my score sheet there. And also, everyone, there has been a goal as well at Southampton, and it's Southampton 0, Burnley 1. So, yeah, wow, that's incredible news. So let me just update my score sheet. So it's Leeds 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, and Southampton 0, Burnley 1. So yeah, there you go, guys. The drama is started already, and yeah, it's pretty mad. It's pretty mad. So here we. So yeah, it's a few goals flying in there. So I just thought I'd play my new little video. If people like that, I'll try and play that every time we get a goal. So yeah, it's a bit of fun, really. That's all. So Tony Blackwell says Leicester have suddenly found their feet, so I think they will beat Brentford, and the Hammers will beat Spurs. No, not biased at all. I think the Hammers will absolutely hammer Spurs. No pun intended. And Brentford and Leicester, I think you're right. I think Leicester have come into a good bit of form, so I can see them definitely getting something out of that game. I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but I think it could well be a draw. If not, I think they might actually win it. So Brendan's got them sorted out, so it seems to me. James is going to be fuming, laugh out loud. Yeah, he's not going to be happy, is he? That's for sure. And that's my predictions out the window. Yeah, and my mate, says Tony. That's his predictions out the window. Absolutely right. It's my predictions out the window too. So yeah, just shows you what I know about football, doesn't it? Sweet bugger all. So yeah, so as it stands at the moment, it's 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Newcastle. It's Everton 1, Watford 1, Leeds 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 0, Burnley 1. And then Tony says, love it, Warren. Good. I'm glad you liked it, mate. I just want to make it a bit entertaining. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm here on my own. Unfortunately, Old School Gunner couldn't make it this weekend. He's out away visiting family. So next weekend we'll be back on his channel doing this. And yeah, I'm going to send him, or try and send him, the video clips of the goal celebration, so if he can use it if he wants to, but I'll leave that decision up to him and see what he thinks. Yeah, let's just check and see if there's been any more goals. Yeah, so it's still Southampton 0, Burnley 1, Leeds 0, Leeds 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Everton 1, Watford 1, and then Ross County are beating Livingston by 1-0. Bournemouth are winning 1-0 at Huddersfield Town. Luton Town are beating Hull City by 1-0. And in League One, Bolton are losing 2-0 at home to Gillingham. Burton Albion are losing 1-0 at home to Oxford United. Morecambe and Plymouth are drawing 1-1. Shrewsbury are beating Cambridge United 1-0. And then in League Two, Forest Green Rovers are losing 1-0 at home to Salford City. I didn't know Salford City were in the Football League now, but there you go. Port Vale are winning 2-0 against Colchester United. And Swindon are losing 1-0 at home to Bradford City. And finally, Walsall are beating Barrow by 1-0. And there's any other standout scores there? Don't think so. So that's what's going on up and down the country in the football. So keep it tuned here, guys, because I'm going to try and do my best to keep you updated. Tony Blackwell says, Warren, did you see how animated Arteta was last night? Don't remember him doing that when Arsenal were losing, although loved it when the fourth official told him to move out of the way for a throw-in. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that was hilarious, mate. I saw a fan cam last night, and they what was it they called him? They said he was doing his windmill as usual. So I'm going to call him Windy Miller from now on. You remember Windy Miller? Oh, my God. Yeah, Windy Miller, the windmill man. So, yeah. Yeah, I just think it's a bit over the top. I did hear a story about Arteta as well. One of my friends went to see the match with Wimbledon at home, and she was sat right near the dugout, and the bit where, all the players sit, because they sit behind the coach and whatnot, and she could hear Arteta shouting, and he kept having a pop at Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and in the end, Ainsley turned round and had a go back at Arteta, because Ainsley, he kept shouting orders at Ainsley, and Ainsley said to him, "What are you talking about? That's what I am doing it. What's wrong with you?" And at the end of the game, Arteta was on the pitch congratulating all the players, but he just completely ignored Ainsley. So make of that what you will. So and my friend, she told me that he was behaving like a madman on the touchline. Tony says Luton will be in the Prem in the next couple of seasons, which would be amazing considering the wilderness they've been in. Yeah, I remember them playing in the First Division before, and when they had Mick Harford playing up front, and he was a right hard one. He was. I remember him and Tony Adams having a real few good battles, like real hardcore physical battles. And then Tony Blackwell says, Dom Dink De Donk. Hello, Windy Miller. Give us a little wave, laugh out loud. Yeah, exactly, mate. Windy Miller. Oh, my God. That's what I'm going to call him from now on, mate. I'm telling you. So let's check out on the scores. Still no changes. Palace drawing 0-0 with Newcastle. Everton 1-1 with Watford. Leeds are losing 1-0 at home to Wolves. And Southampton are losing 1-0 with Burnley. So Wolves seem to be doing quite well at the moment under this new manager of theirs. And they've certainly picked up in the last few weeks. I mean, they came back from 2-0 down in the last 10 minutes of the game last week against Villa to win 3-2. And they're winning again today at Ellen Road. So fair play to them. And then Tony says, Warren, we're showing our age, mate. Yeah, man, it's terrible, isn't it? I keep forgetting how old I am because I'm 54. Next birthday, I'm going to be 55, man. So I forget how old I am. I forget, and sometimes I say things and I hear other people talking, and I think they're the same age as me. And then when I hear them talking, especially about football, I realise that they're not. Because I remember the other day, I was talking to this fella and he was going, yeah, it was old school, right? Old school gunner. And he said, yeah, I've been supporting Arsenal for donkey's years, going back right back, like to 1992. And I started watching Arsenal when I was 5 in 1972. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ, that means that I'm really old. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's quite funny, man. It's quite funny. So, yeah, let's see what's happening. Let's see if there's any more goals gone in. So, still, yeah, nothing's really changed. I'm just going to see in these other games, see who the scorers were. So nothing in that one. Everton, yeah, we know about the Everton game. Leeds, right? Let's have a look, see if it's saying anything about this one. Yeah. The Wolves goal scorer in the 23rd minute was Hwang Hee-chan. Sorry, in the 10th minute he scored. Sorry, the game is now in the 23rd minute. And then the Southampton game. Burnley scored through Cornet in the 13th minute. And that game's in the 26th minute. So, yeah, it seems to have quietened down a little bit after that little burst of activity we had a few minutes ago. So, yeah, it's still Burnley winning 1-0 at Southampton. Wolverhampton Wanderers winning 1-0 at Leeds. Everton 1, Watford 1, and Palace 0, Newcastle 0. So, yeah, that's what's happening. Let's just have a look, see if there's any notable scores in any of the other games. Bournemouth are now 2-0 up against Huddersfield Town. Coventry will beating Derby County 1-0. Millwall losing 1-0 at home to Stoke. West Brom are 1-0 up against Bristol City. Doncaster are now winning 1-0 against Cheltenham Town. And yeah, that's it. Nothing else has really changed, really. Yeah, so there you go. That's the up-to-date picture as it stands at the moment. So let's have a look, see what's going on in this game at Goodison Park. Claudio Ranieri standing on the touchline there, looking heavily engrossed in the match. But he's not flinging his arms around like a lunatic, though. Not like Mikel Arteta does, that's for sure. So yeah, Watford have got possession of the ball at the back. They're passing it around at the back from left to right. It's moved back inside to deep line midfield player. It's coming out to the right-hand side of the midfield. He's passing it back to the right back, and it's gone back to one of the centre-backs. They're pushing the ball forward. It's took control by one of the forwards. And then it's on the edge of the box. And the Watford player takes a shot. Oh, and it's just gone wide. Good effort there from, that G. Hernandez. That was a good shot there on, just fizzled past the post. So Watford looked like improved dramatically from last week. That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think about this formation that that Leeds are playing? They're playing a 3-3-3-1 formation. I have to say, I've never, ever seen that before. And Tony says, these young whippersnappers, they don't know how good they have it, laugh out loud. They don't remember Arsenal actually winning things. Yeah, man. Jesus, God. Yeah, and I think the way things are at the moment, it could be a long time before we see Arsenal winning anything. But West Ham doing really well, mate. I was been really impressed with them recently. Another good win in the Europa League the other night. Do you think they could? Do you reckon they could win the Europa League, Tony? That's what I want to know. Be interesting because if they're going to get out of the group, that's for sure. There's something really badly would have to go really badly wrong now, not to go through. And the next, I think there's a round of 32, then there's 16. Then they get to the quarterfinals, and then that's when it starts hotting up. So, because if they win the group, they'll avoid a team coming down from the Champions League. So, and Tony says Bielsa doing some weirdness with that formation. Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it? So they've got a 3-man defence, and then they've got sort of a 3-man sort of. Well, they've got a 6-man midfield and 1 up front, but there's 3 of the midfield that are deeper than the attacking 3. So there's like 3 that are in a defensive area of midfield. Let me see if I can show you because I'm struggling to explain it, to be honest. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. That's let me just. I'm going to stop sharing that and I'm going to share this for you so you can see this madness that he's done with this. This formation. Look, there you go. There it is. That's the formation. Look, there's like 3-man defence, then like a 3-man sort of defensive midfield zone, and then a 3-man attacking midfield zone, and then a lone striker. It's insane. I've never seen anything like that before, but it looks quite interesting. I might have to give that a go in a friendly game in Football Manager and see what happens. Oh my goodness. It's just a madness, isn't it? Warren, can't lie. West Ham have carried on from where they left last season, constantly improving. Hopefully get a striker in the January window. Think we will need a decent keeper as well. See, that's the thing. I think if West Ham get some decent squad depth, they could do really, really well. And don't forget, if they win that Europa League, right, which I think is possible, I can't see any reason why they wouldn't have a good shout in it. And I don't mean to sound patronising. I just think they're going to do really well, and I think they've got a good side. I think they could do really well in the Europa League, and they could potentially win it. And if they do, they could be in the Champions League next season. Tony says, must admit, I've never seen a formation like that, even in Sunday football. Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it? It's absolutely bonkers. But, you know, it probably could work for a few games because, well, it's not working at the moment, obviously, but it could because people have never come up against it before, I'm sure. So, you know. It's just a bit of a madness, really. So let's see, after that little interlude, what's going on in the games. Yeah, it's still exactly the same. Palace 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 1, Watford 1, Leeds 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 0, Burnley 1. Let's have a look at some of the match stats for those games. So let me just share the screen. So I'm getting all this information from the BBC website. So Leeds against Wolves. Let's have a look and see what's going on up there. So the match stats, as we can see there, Leeds have had 59% possession, 59% possession of the match. They've had 6 shots and 2 on target. Wolves have had 3 shots with 1 on target. They've had 2 corners and Wolves have had 1. And there's been 4 fouls from Leeds and 3 from Wolves. So there you have it. So let's look at some of the other games, see what's been going on. And then Southampton against Burnley. Southampton have had 56% possession. They've had 4 shots and none on target. And Burnley have had 2 shots and 2 on target. That's pretty impressive, I have to say. They both had 1 corner each, and they both had 4 fouls each. So that's quite interesting. So let's go to the next one. And the Everton game, there's a lot of arguing going on. Something's gone off there. I'm not sure what. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But we know about that. Well, let's have a look at that, see what the situation is with, because I'm not really keeping a close eye on it. But yeah, so in the Everton game, Everton have had 46% possession. They've had 7 shots with 3 on target. Watford have had 4 shots with 1 on target. Everton have had 1 corner and Watford have had 2. And Everton have committed 4 fouls and Watford have committed 2. And then Everton have just had another corner, so that's 2 apiece now for them. So let's look at the final game. And Southampton, Burnley, Everton, Leeds. Right, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. Let's see what's going on with that one, because Newcastle look like they're playing quite well defensively anyway. Oh my God, look at that. Palace have had 80% possession. They've had 4 shots, 1 of which has been on target. Newcastle have had 3 shots, 1 on target. And Palace have had 1 corner and Newcastle have had none. And Palace have had 4 fouls and Newcastle have had 2. So there you go. There you have it. It's just a little, breakdown of what's been going on. So let's get my score sheet up again. So there we have it. Let's just see. Yeah, this Everton Watford game is 1-1 still. So there's been further developments. Up in Scotland, it's Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 0, Celtic 1, St Johnstone 0, and Hearts 1, Dundee 0, and Ross County 1. So that's quite interesting. Celtic are on a good run of form at the moment. And then in the Championship, Blackpool are 1-0 up against Preston. Luton are 1-0 up against Hull. Millwall still losing 1-0 at home to Stoke. Then in League One, I don't think anything's really changed there. Shrewsbury are 1-0 up against Cambridge. Newport County are 2-0 up against Bristol Rovers in League Two. Hartlepool are now losing 2-0 at home to Harrogate Town. Yeah, I've been to Hartlepool. My God, that place isn't. I've got a funny story about Hartlepool that I'm going to share with you. I did include it in my Groundhopper Diaries series, which was, I think we've been there twice. I went there twice. Me and my mate Mick went up there to watch Maidstone. And I think the first time we went, we got to the ground, and it took, obviously, because we're travelling all the way up from Kent, it took hours to get there. And when we got there, we went to go inside the ground, and the guy on the turnstile says to me, now bear in mind that we were all following Maidstone United. So the big rivals in Kent for Maidstone United are Gillingham. So this fella said to me, "Oh, welcome to the arsehole of England, mate." And it was like, I think it was October, November, so it was bitterly cold. The ground's right across the road from the North Sea. There was a real strong wind blowing in off the North Sea. And he said, "Yeah, welcome to the arsehole of England, mate." And I turned around to him and said, "No, mate, that's Gillingham." And he thought it was hilarious. And Tony says, I agree, mate. We have a good chance of going all the way in the Europa, which would be great for us. Imagine West Ham in the Champions League. That would be funny. Mate, it would be amazing, wouldn't it? I remember back in the day, didn't you get to was it the Cup Winners' Cup final or UEFA Cup final? And West Ham were playing this team. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Slovan Bratislava or something. And you had two different kits on that. Some of the team had the current kit, and some of the team had the new kit. I can't remember. It was in the 70s, though, but it was an absolute madness. And then Charlie says Southampton game pretty even. Yeah, it looks it, doesn't it? And then Everton were appealing for a penalty there, but nothing's going on. Oh, and it's getting a bit heated between the players. Looks like there's going to be some handbags here. Oh, my goodness. And the referee's calling some people. Yeah, he's calling people towards him, so God knows what's going to happen there. Yeah, he's calling players towards him. He's called Davis towards him and Hernandez. It's both the goal scorers as well, which is quite interesting. So he's calling them towards him. And what's he going to do? So he's talking to him and he's pushing all the other players away because there's a crowd of people all wanting to have his say. The referee's booked somebody. I don't know if it's Hernandez he's booked or what's happened. But yeah, so the ball got floated up into the penalty area. And it looked like from here that Hernandez pushed someone to the ground. And then there was another incident of the ball. And Watford number 5 pushed someone to the ground as well. But anyway, game's back on again. I don't think there's been any further altercations or bookings or whatnot. And Tony Blackwell always said Everton were a dirty side. Oh, my God. Don't let James hear you say that. He'll go ballistic. Yeah, but they have got that reputation, haven't they? I mean, I know my friend who's a Liverpool fan. She can't stand Everton because she's a Liverpool fan. And she blames them for crocking Virgil van Dijk. She said it was that challenge on Van Dijk was done deliberately. Palace always seem to have control of the game, but what lets them down is their passing. They were shocking against Arsenal. It seems the same again today. Yeah, that game against Arsenal was a bit of a mad one because the start of the game, Arsenal looked really good for about 5-10 minutes, and then they took control of the game. And then at the end of the game, when Martinelli and Lacazette come on, the whole game changed, and particularly Lacazette because he looked really fired up. Arsenal like really went for them. So I think that's probably where I got a start last night. And then Tony Blackwell's put some laughing emojis in. And Tony says, laugh out loud, those were the tactics back in the day. Confuse the opposition with different kits. Yeah, it was bonkers, man. I remember watching it. I was only little. Do you know what I mean? I think it was early 70s. And I'm sure it was some sort of European final or something. And I'm sure that West Ham had two different kits on. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can find something on YouTube about it later. And yeah, because it was mad. It really was mad. And I'm sure it was a game against Slovan Bratislava. But anyway, so let's see if there's been any developments in any of these games. Because it must be coming up towards half-time by now, I thought. Yeah, it's nearly on half-time. And it's still... Oh, and Southampton have scored. Southampton have scored at home to Burnley. So there we go. It's time. It's time, everyone. There you go. Little goal celebration. So let me just update this. Let me update the scorecard. And Southampton 1, Burnley. Southampton 1, Burnley 1. I'll get it right in a minute, guys. Sorry about that. So there you go. There you have it. Let's have a go and have a look, see what happened then with that goal. So let's stop sharing that and see if we can get the Southampton Burnley stuff up. So yeah, oh God, that name. So the Southampton equaliser came from Livramento in the 41st minute, and with an assist from Redmond. And the game is now in the first minute of injury time at the end of the first half. So yeah, there you go. So let's get the score sheet back up again. Right, so there we go. So let's just quickly go back round the grounds, just make sure there's no other scores. Yeah, so it's Palace 0, Newcastle 0, Palace 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 1, Watford 1, Leeds 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 1, Burnley 1. So yeah, it's there's 4 minutes of added time at Goodison Park, and it's still 1-1. It's been a bit feisty, this game, to be fair, I think. So, yeah, the ball's just gone out of play. So, I think the first half might have finished, actually, at Goodison Park. Yeah, I think that game's finished. The end of the first half there. So the referee's having a chat with one of the Watford players and laughing and joking. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so the game has come to an end at the end of the first half. It's ended Everton 1, Watford 1 at Goodison Park. So let's just close that down for a little while. and we'll come back to that later. So let's just have a look at see the other games, see if they've gone to half yet. So they're all at half time, and let's close. Let's stop sharing that and then bring the half-time scores up. So there you go. So at half-time, it's Palace 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 1, Watford 1, Leeds United 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 1, Burnley 1. And right, okie doke. So and in Scotland, it's Aberdeen 1, Hibs 0. They're still playing in that game. Celtic are winning 1-0 at half-time against St Johnstone. Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0, and that's only in the 32nd minute. I wonder what's gone on there, why that's so far behind all the others. And then Hearts 1-0 up against Dundee. And at half-time, it's Ross County 1, Livingston 2. And then in the Championship, Middlesbrough beat Cardiff City last night by 2-0. So that's going to put added pressure on Mick McCarthy there. I was listening to some guy, a supporter of Cardiff, talking on TalkSport this morning, and he was saying that if Mick McCarthy loses his game today, that his job could be on the line. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Big Mick by the sounds of it. Birmingham 0, Swansea 0. Blackburn 0, Reading 0, Blackburn 1, Preston 0, Bournemouth 2, Huddersfield Town 0, Coventry 1, Derby County 0, Luton Town 1, Hull City 0, Millwall 0, Stoke 1, Peterborough United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, and West Brom 1, Bristol City 0. And then in League 1, it's Accrington 0, Portsmouth 1. AFC Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0, Bolton Wanderers 0, Gillingham 2, Burton Albion 0, Oxford United 2, Doncaster Rovers 2, Cheltenham Town 0, Ipswich 0, Fleetwood Town 0, Milton Keynes Dons 0, Rotherham United 1, and Morecambe 1, Plymouth Argyle 1. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Lincoln City 0. Shrewsbury Town 1, Cambridge United 0. Sunderland 0, Charlton Athletic 0. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Crewe Alexandra 0. And then finally, in League 2, we have Bristol Rovers 1, Newport County 2, Carlisle United 0, Oldham Athletic 0, Exeter City 0, Mansfield Town 0, Forest Green Rovers 1, Salford City 1, Hartlepool United 0, Harrogate Town 2, Port Vale 2, Colchester United 0, Rochdale 1, Sutton United 0, Scunthorpe United 1, Crawley Town 0, Stevenage 0, Leyton Orient 0, Swindon 0, Bradford City 2, Tranmere Rovers 0, Northampton Town 0. And finally, Walsall 1, Barrow 1. So there you go. That's us up to date with all the scores up and down the country. So let's put the score sheet back up. Oh, where has it gone? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so there you go. That's the halftime situation in all the games up and down the country. Yeah, so quite interesting, really. So far, it's not been as mad as it was last weekend when we did this first time on Old School Gunners channel. But yeah, some interesting games there, nonetheless. So so Tony, who do you think's going to win the Premier League this year? Because I've got a feeling that Liverpool are going to do it. I really do. I know that Chelsea won 7-0 today against Norwich, but Norwich had a man sent off in that game. And yeah, and Chelsea, I mean, they're an incredible side, but Liverpool at the moment, they're just unbelievable. And Salah is just unplayable. He looks like he can win a game on his own, to be quite honest. So, yeah, it's looking like it's going to be quite a really impressive title race, that's for sure. And Manchester City, I think they're just going to fall short, in my opinion, just because of the fact that they haven't got a world-class striker in their side. Pep seems to quite like the idea of playing with his false nine. I do get it to a degree, but I think if they had a world-class striker, I think that they would be a real handful for most teams in the division, and I think they would cause more of a problem. And they'd be more likely to they'd have more chance of winning the league and winning the Champions League. So yeah, it'd be pretty impressive. So I'm guessing I'm guessing that there might be definitely some more developments in the games in the second half, and but Newcastle seem to be doing well at the moment. Holding Palace to a 0-0 draw. I'm quite surprised about that because I thought that Palace might have scored by now, but there you go. They've done well. But anyone who's watching this on playback, please put a comment in the comment section of the video, telling me what you thought about the games this afternoon, who stood out for you, what you think the standout performance was from these games that I'm covering, the 3:00 kickoffs, and I'd be really interested to hear that and what you think about the title race, especially after Chelsea thumped Norwich 7-0, and what you think that means for Norwich moving forward, and also for Chelsea as well. So, yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts about that. Tony's saying, I think it will be Chelsea. It'll be very tight with City and Liverpool just behind, but I don't see anyone running away with it. I'm worried that Liverpool are going to end up going the whole season unbeaten, mate, to be quite honest. I really am. Because they nearly did it two seasons ago, didn't they? And then at the end of the season, it all just came on top for them. And the unbeaten thing went out the window for them. But yeah, I just don't want us to lose that mantle of going through the whole season unbeaten in the Premier League. I just think it's phenomenal. I mean, I don't think it's as a great an achievement as winning the treble or anything like that. In fact, I would have preferred it that season if we'd lost one or two games and won the Champions League, because I think that Champions League that season for Arsenal was there for the taking. And if we'd not been so obsessed with going through the season unbeaten, I think they could have won it. Because if they'd won that quarter final against Chelsea, the one when we lost 2-1 at Highbury after drawing 1-1 at Stamford Bridge, I think we would have gone on to win it. I really do, because Chelsea played Monaco in the semi-final. Monaco knocked them out, and then Porto beat Monaco in the final. When Porto were being managed by Jose Mourinho, but I think we would have gone on to win it. But having said that, coming up against Mourinho, Arsene Wenger didn't have a particularly good record against Mourinho, that's for sure. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just a bit worried about Liverpool going the whole season unbeaten. And I have to say, I don't think that Arsenal team that went unbeaten in when they did that year, I don't think it was Arsenal's best ever team in modern era. I think that title really, as far as I'm concerned, should go to George Graham's side in a 1990-91 season. That team nearly went unbeaten as well. I think that season we only lost one game all season, which was the game away at Chelsea. And I remember that game because Tony Adams was in prison, and Steve, I think, I'm not sure, I can't remember if Steve Bold played or not, but we certainly had a makeshift defence, and we ended up losing the game by 2-1 at Stamford Bridge, because otherwise that team would have gone unbeaten. And I just think that team were better than the Invincible side, to be quite honest. Were certainly more tactically astute anyway. And for me, the best achievement that Arsenal ever had is when they went to Anfield in '89 and won that game at Anfield by 2-0. That's still, in my book, the best achievement Arsenal have ever made, because the reason I say that is because that Liverpool team at the time was by far and away, in my opinion, the best team in Europe by a long way. And for Arsenal to go up there and win 2-0 after everything that had gone on to Liverpool that season with the Hillsborough disaster and everything else was just incredible. It really was. But yeah. So anyway, so I think the games have kicked off again. So let's get back and see what's going on. Yeah, so the games have kicked back off. Oh, have they? No, they haven't yet. I'm just going to get this game back up because I'm pretty sure the game's must have kicked off by now, surely. Let's get this game back up. Yeah, so it looks like they're just about to kick off at Goodison Park. The players back out on the pitch. Let me just click on the refresh button because my clock's telling me it's 4:05 and still no sign of games kicking back off. But there you go. Yep, so Everton have kicked back off for the start of the second half. And Rondon Yeah. Watford have got a throw-in. They've taken it, flicked on again. It's going up the right wing. Now the ball's gone out of play, and Rafford's standing up, chewing his gum and looking a bit concerned. Everton have got possession of the ball. They're playing it around the back. Then centre back's played a long ball forward, and it's come to the goal scorer Davis. He passes it inside. He swings it out to the left against it, plays a short 1-2. It's back with the defence again. They passed it out to the right back. The right back's played it to the right-sided midfield player. He plays it inside to the centre midfield player. Back to the centre back. He passes it over to the left back. The left back passes a short ball forward, and Everton lose possession, and a long ball is played forward by Watford, and the Everton centre-back loses possession, and it's come to Hernandez on the left-hand side of the midfield. The ball's inside the penalty area now from Watford. Plays the ball across, and it goes out of play for Everton throw-in by the looks of it. And that was King who played the ball out for a Watford throw-in. So Watford have got a throw-in on the left-hand side of the Everton box, nearly down by the byline. Plays the forward ball out wide, and Digan is going to take a throw-in for Everton. No, it's not Digan that's going to take the throw-in. Oh, this young lad, I don't really recognise who that is, but the Everton player takes throw-in. Ball goes forward a wee bit and then gets put out for another throw-in for Everton. And no, it was Digne that took the throw-in. So he's taking throw-in, he's moving forward, takes the throw-in, and there's an aerial duel which Everton win, and now Watford have got possession of the ball again. The Everton centre-back plays the ball forward, and Watford attacking down Everton's left-hand side. Everton have got possession of the ball. They pass the ball inside into the centre midfield area. It's out to the Watford's right-hand side. Everton plays the ball across the penalty area, but there's no one there to meet it. Comes to the right-sided player for Everton. It's on the right-hand side of the box, and then the Everton player goes down. Davis goes down under a challenge from the Watford player, and the referee has stopped the game. It was a bit of a looked like the Watford player was grabbing hold of the Everton player, and he went down under the challenge. And I think that Everton have got a free kick. Looks like Everton have got a free kick. They're just holding on to the ball while the referee sorts things out. All the players are waiting inside the penalty area and on the edge of the penalty area for the kick to be taken. Townsend looks like he's about to take it. Townsend standing over the ball. Just waiting to see what happens. Yeah. So the ball gets floated in, comes across the area. Watford header it away. It comes back in again, and the Watford goalkeeper claims it, and he plays a long ball up the field. And Watford have got possession of the ball. And Hernandez plays it inside. And it goes out to the Watford striker. He plays it out to Hernandez. Plays it inside, back to the back four, and they play it back to the goalkeeper who's outside his box, and he just passes the ball forward. And yeah, so let's just see. And there's been a goal at Southampton. So here we go. There's been a goal at Southampton. It's now Southampton 2, Burnley 1. So let's go and have a see what's going on there. So I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to share the screen again. Right, so the second goal was scored by Broja in the 50th minute. And it was assisted by Diallo. So Southampton, they've had now 9 shots on target. It's 9 shots on goal, 2 on target, and 2 goals. So that's pretty impressive. They've had 3 corners and 7 fouls. Yeah, so Southampton are 2-1 up against Burnley at home. With 53 minutes gone in that game. So there you go. Bit of a ding-dong battle there by the looks of it. So there you go. Let me just update my score sheet. So there you go. So it's now Southampton 2, Burnley 1, Leeds United 0, Wolves 1, and Everton 1, Watford 1, and Palace 0, Newcastle 0. So there we are, guys. It's hotting up. It's hotting up, as they say. So we'll go and have a look, go around the grounds in a minute. I just want to see. So what does everyone think about that? Southampton taking the lead at home to Burnley. That's a bit of a blow for Burnley because they're teetering near the bottom 3 of the table, I think. Let me just let's see if we can have a look at the table. So I'm going to stop sharing that and pull up that one. See if we can get the table up. There you go. So Chelsea are sitting top, 4 points ahead of Liverpool with 18 points. And Chelsea have got 22, Liverpool got 18. Man City are on 17. And Everton are in 4th at the moment with 15 points. Brighton are down to 5th. Wolves are up to 6th with 15 points because of today's games. Tottenham are down to 7th on 15 points. Man United are in 8th. West Ham are in 9th on 14 points. And if West Ham win at the weekend, they could potentially go up to 3rd or 4th. Yeah, potentially 4th because Man City's goal difference is way superior. They've got plus 13 goal difference. West Ham's is plus 5, so there'd have to be an 8-goal turnaround. Arsenal are now down to 10th on 14 points, which is a bit mad, really, when you think about the start that Arsenal have had. And they lost the first 3 games of the season. Brentford are in 11th. Leicester in 12th, but they've got 11 points. Villa are in 13th with 10. Palace are 14th with 9. Southampton are on 15th with 8. Watford are on 16th with 8. Leeds are 17th with 6. And Burnley are now inside the bottom 3 with 4 points, along with Newcastle on 4 points and Norwich on 2. So those guys in the bottom 3, they really need to start picking up some points, in my opinion, because otherwise it's going to get a bit troublesome for them, I think. So as it stands at the moment, it's Palace 0, Newcastle United 0, and there's been a goal. So there's been a goal. There's been a goal, and it's come at Selhurst Park, and it's Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 0. So let's quickly go over to Selhurst Park and see what's been going on there. And the goal scorer there is Benteke. So, yeah, they scored in the 56th minute, with the goal was assisted by Mitchell. So the Palace now have had 76 possession. They've had 6 shots on 6 shots, 2 on target and 1 goal. And Newcastle have had 3 shots with 1 on target. So there you go. It's pretty mad, really, isn't it? I don't think there's been any changes. Ward and Anderson have both been booked for Palace. No substitutions for Newcastle either. But Wilson for Newcastle has been booked as well. And there's 24,500 people there at the ground. So let me just update my the score sheet with that goal. So that's Palace 1, Newcastle United 0. Let's get that back up on the screen. Done. There you go. There you have it, guys. So there we go. It's Palace 1, Newcastle United 0, Everton 1, Watford 1, Leeds 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 1. So let's go back to that. Yeah. And there's been another goal at Southampton at the St Mary's Stadium. So here we go. And let's see what's happened there. Let's go back to the St Mary's Stadium and see what's going on there. So there you go. Yeah, it's now Southampton 2, Burnley 2, and Cornet has got another one. He scored in the 57th minute, and that goal was assisted by Westwood. So match stats are Southampton have had 54% possession as against Burnley's 46. Southampton have had 10 shots, 2 of which have been on target. And Burnley have had 5 shots, 3 on target. Southampton have had 4 corners and Burnley 2. And Southampton have committed 7 fouls against Burnley 6. So there you have it, guys. It's certainly hotting up now, that's for sure. So let me just update the score sheet again to reflect that. So it's Southampton 2, Burnley 2. Wow. There you go. There you have it. So let's pull that down and get that back up on the screen. There you go. So let's see. We've got a couple more comments come in. Seen that one. And Burnley are a strange side, says Tony Blackwell. They're either on form or off, so inconsistent we're on. Yeah, they are, mate. Difficult side to play against. I remember that game at Turf Moor earlier in the season when we scored that free kick to win the game by 1-0. That was a right battle. And I was quite impressed with the way that our defence stood up to their physical onslaught, because I think it was quite a difficult game for us, to be quite honest. But don't get it wrong, I still want Arteta out, that's for sure. And then Tony says Benteke on fire. He is, isn't he, mate? He really is. He's found his form and he's doing well. He really is doing well for Palace. So maybe he's benefiting from being under Vieira's tutelage. And it looks like Everton have scored. Richarlison is on, and it looks like he's scored. Get the fireworks going. Yeah, exactly, mate. I need to get those fireworks going for sure, because there's been another goal. And Richarlison scored with a diving header to make it Everton 2, Watford 1. So, yeah, it was a good ball into the box, and Richarlison sort of glanced and dived in with a glancing diving header, and he's celebrating with the Everton fans. So, yeah, there you go. So let me update the score sheet there. And so it's now Everton 2, Watford 1. So there we go. So beginning and yeah, so Watford are now back on the attack. It's gone to the edge of the penalty area, and they took a long shot, and the goalkeeper parried it out, and it's went out and tried to get. It's like Kuko tried to play the ball back in, and it came off an Everton defender, and it's gone out for a corner. So gone out for a Watford corner. Sorry, Watford have got a corner now. Hernandez with the corner. He plays the ball in. It doesn't beat the first man. He heads it clear, and it's Watford are back in possession. It goes back to the Watford goalkeeper. Looks like he's going to play a long ball forward. He plays the ball forward onto the left-hand side of the Everton penalty area. Ball's bobbing around the Everton penalty area. It's come out wide. Ball's coming to the penalty area, and the Watford player takes an air kick. And Watford back in possession again. And looks like they're pushing quite hard here to try and get an equaliser. Everton play the ball forward. And yeah, so Both coaches are in the technical areas, shouting out instructions to people. But neither of them are doing their Wendy Miller's impressions, that's for sure. But there you go. So some more comments here. And so spoken word poetry, Jamie Hill's in the chat. Bonjour, everyone. Hi, Jamie. Nice to see you, fella. Hope you're doing well. I'm happy Everton scored. Yeah, mate. James would be absolutely delighted, I'm sure, especially with his boy Richarlison having scored. Bonjour, says Tony Blackwell. And spoken word poetry, Jamie Hill says bonjour. So yeah, it's been quite an entertaining afternoon so far. Crystal Palace 1-0 up at Newcastle thanks to a goal from Christian Benteke. Everton have just gone 2-1 up through the Richarlison. And yeah, I've just caught a glimpse of what's his name? I'm the new Watford boss, and he doesn't look happy at all. He looks well pissed off, to be quite honest. Claudio Ranieri, that's right. Leeds are losing 1-0 at home to Wolves, and Southampton are drawing 2 each with Burnley. So yeah, it's been quite exciting stuff, really, all things being considered. So let's have a go around the other grounds. And there's been another goal. There's been a goal. That was fireworks time to indicate that there's been another goal. The Warrants team talk is in full flow, everyone. And there's been another goal, and it's come at Selhurst Park. So let's get down to Selhurst Park and see what's happening down there. And it's gone to Newcastle, and Wilson has scored in the 65th minute. So there you go, people. And it was assisted by Kraft. So, yeah, Palace have conceded. So, yeah, that's amazing. So let me just update the score sheet then. So that's that. And from beginning. So there you go. There you have it. It's Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1, Everton 2, Watford 1, Leeds United 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 2. So quite an entertaining afternoon as it stands. So, yeah, it's looking really exciting. I'm just going to pull up the Premier League table to see how these scores have affected things. In Scotland, it's still Aberdeen 1, Hibs 0, Celtic 1, St Johnstone 0, Dundee United 1, Motherwell 0, Hearts 1, Dundee 0, and Ross County 2, Livingston 2. So, yeah. So there we go. And this is any notable scores in the Championship. Birmingham City are 1-0 up against Swansea. Blackburn Rovers are 2-0 up against Reading. Bournemouth are now 3-0 up against Huddersfield. Millwall are now 2-1 up against Stoke. Peterborough are drawing 1-1 with Queen's Park Rangers, and West Brom have gone 2-0 up. So let me see if I can get up the Premier League table. So let's stop sharing that. And tables. Right, here we go. So Everton still sitting in fourth. Wolves are in sixth. Villa are in 13th. Palace are in 14th. Southampton are now 15th. Newcastle are... Hold on, let's date that because that doesn't look right to me. Yeah, Newcastle are still 19th. Burnley are in 18th. So, yeah, there you go. Let's get the score sheet back up on the screen. There we go. So, let's see the comments. And Tony Blackwell says, is that I've started, so I'll finish alarm, Warren? Yes, mate, it is. Yeah, oh, then don't ask, mate. It's a long story. I've started, so I'll finish. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'd love to, I would have loved to see Terry on Mastermind. That would have been hilarious. What's your favourite subject, Terry? Yeah, Mikel Arteta. Oh my goodness. So let's see if there's anything else happening. So still Palace 1, Newcastle 1, Everton 2, Watford 1, Leeds 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 2. And there's about 18, 17 minutes left to play, so we're about halfway through the second half. So let's have a little look at this Everton-Watford game and see what's going on. There's been a bit of a tussle there on the far-hand side between the two of the players there. And I think Everton might get a free kick there. Yeah, they have. They've got a free kick, and it's on the right-hand side of the Watford penalty area. And it looks like there's going to be a ball played into the penalty area because there are several bodies congregated around the penalty spot. So the ball gets played in deep into the penalty area, and a header comes in from, I think, looks like one of the Everton centre-backs. I'm not sure who that was then, number 5. And it goes just wide of the far post. So not bad effort. But you'd really want to be getting that on target, really, I guess. But yeah, Rafa's on the touchline there, and he's looking quite pensive. Looks worried. He's barking out his orders. And the ball got pumped forward into the Everton defence, and so Everton have got a free kick. Ranieri looking a bit worried, and his stress levels look like they're going through the roof, to be quite honest. So the goalkeeper, Everton goalkeeper, plays the long ball forward, and it goes through to the Watford keeper. He's got possession of the ball now. He rolls it out to the Watford centre-back. He rolls it out to the Watford left-back. He plays the ball forward. And yes, bobbing around at the back at the moment for Watford's, the defensive part of Watford's midfield and their defence. It's gone forward to the attack, but Everton have got back possession of the ball. Okay, so it's a throw in to Watford now on their right-hand side. So the play's stopped for something going. Not quite sure what's going on here, but anyway, Watford take a throw and it's gone long up the wing. Looks like it's gone out of possession again. Sorry, it's gone out of play again. And Watford are making a substitution. And who's that has come on? Nikolai has come on. I'm not really sure who he's come on for, but he's come on. And there's 14 minutes left to play. The ball's being played around the back for Watford. We played the ball forward. And ball's gone out of play and it's Watford throwing. So looks like Celtic have scored a second goal. They're now 2-0 up in the 80th minute. And Everton are making a substitution. It looks like Iwobi's coming on. Iwobi's coming on for... Who's that fella? Yeah, he's coming on for Damari Gray. So, yeah, he missed an absolute sitter last week, though, for Everton. I saw the ball come across the penalty area, and all he had to do was connect with it, and I'm sure it would have gone in. And he just took an air shot. Mind you, I'm sure that West Ham fans will be delighted with that. So it's still, scores are still the same. Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1, Everton 2, Watford 1, Leeds 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 2. So, let's see if there's any more chats in here. Tony says that Terry would win that hands down. If he had Arteta as his subject topic, he would answer without getting a question. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I think there's been a goal. And there has been a goal. Watford have scored. So here we go. It's time for the fireworks, people. Yeah, so what happened with the goal? I'm just trying to see if I can see a replay. It's scored by... Who scored it? There's some... King or something, and Claudio Ranieri's like shuffling his team around. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's scored by Cooker. Or is it? No, it's 2-2. It's scored by Cooker in the 78th minute, and the goal was assisted by Hernandez Sanchez in the 78th minute. And I think it's 3-2 now. Oh, my goodness. So let's see what's happened there. Yeah, the ball got played forward on the Everton left. Ball came into the box and the Watford striker was unmarked and they had a simple effort to put the ball home. So, yeah, James Dunlop's going to be absolutely going mental. And the Watford players ripped his shirt off and celebrating in front of the Watford fans. and they're absolutely delighted. 3-2 up. Claudio Ranieri standing there, motionless, showing no emotion. Rafa looks really, really annoyed. Really annoyed. So it was King who got the third goal for Watford. So let me just update the score sheet. Yeah, so with just under 9 minutes to go, it's Everton 2, Watford 3. Let's see what's going on in the rest of the games. So it's Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1, Everton 2, Watford 3, Leeds United 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 2. And there's just under 10 minutes to go in all these games. So, yeah, it's certainly hotting up now. And Tony says, love those fireworks, but the surprise is knowing who scored. The suspense. Right, what I'm going to do, whenever there's a goal now, I'm not going to tell you where the goal's gone to, who the goal's gone to, until the after I've done the fireworks. How's that sound? And Tony saying, didn't see that Watford score coming, must admit. As you said, James won't be liking the way home after. Mate, he's going to be furious, especially after losing at home last week to you lot, West Ham. It's 2 games in a row where they've lost at home. And I remember saying at the beginning of the season that if I was an Everton fan, I'd be really happy that they got Rafa because I really rate him as a coach. But I did think that if things started going tits up for him, then I think the Everton faithful would turn on him quite quickly because of his Liverpool links. So I hope that doesn't happen for Rafa, because I think if he gets the right backing in the transfer market, I think that Everton are going to have a really good season. But it depends whether or not they'll give him the right backing or not, because it's clear to me that they haven't got very good strength in depth in their squad. And Everton nearly scored again. They just blazed one over the bar. And Tony saying, sounds God Warren or good. Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, no, I just thought it'd be quite hilarious, really, because you see, back in the day, you used to see these scoreballs, and when there was a goal, like they used to have one at the Highbury, and it was, and we were one of the first in the country to have this thing, and it was a huge bloody screen. And I remember everyone being really excited about this stupid screen. And when there was a goal, it would just flash up with like goal and like fireworks and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, it was a bit mad that Watford like scoring 2 goals in quick succession like that, wasn't it? So yeah, that was a bit crazy, really. Right. So let's let's have a look, see what's going on around the grounds. It's Palace 1, Newcastle 1 still, Everton 2, Watford 3, as we saw, Leeds 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 2. In Scotland, it's Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 0, Celtic 2, St Johnstone 0, Dundee United 1, Motherwell 0, Hearts 1, Dundee 1, and Ross County 2, Livingston 2. And oh my God, there could be another one. And there is, it's another one. Watford have got another one. Oh, I'm not supposed to be saying anything, am I? Right, so it's time. It's time, people, for the... There you go. And it's Everton 2, Watford 4. My goodness. So that Hernandez chap broke down the left-hand side of the Everton penalty area. It popped out, and there was about 3 Everton players all got muddled up together, and then it came to the Watford player, and he just sort of sidestepped a couple of them, and it just seemed all to happen in quite slow motion, to be quite frank. He just rolled the ball back past the Everton centre-back, and he just stood there. Jesus, my God. Poor old James, he's going to be furious, and rightly so, because that defending was pitiful. It really was. So there we go. So let's update the score sheet. So Everton 2, Watford 4. There you go, guys. Wow, what can you say about that? And the Watford fans are in absolute delirium. They're jumping about, and I'm not surprised, really, after the thumping they took last week against Liverpool at home. It could have been 9 or 10 in that game. But, yeah, I don't know what was going on with those Everton defenders in that passage of play. They just looked like they were half asleep. Birmingham are now 2-1 up against Swansea. Blackburn 2-0 up against Reading. It's Blackburn 2, Preston 0. Bournemouth 3, Huddersfield Town 0. Coventry 1, Derby 1. Derby have scored now. Luton 1, Hull City 0. Millwall 2, Stoke 1. Peterborough 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. And West Bromwich Albion 3, Bristol City 0. Yeah, so there you go. So, still around our featured games, it's Palace 1, Newcastle 1, Everton 2, Watford 4, Leeds United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 2. So there you go. So there's a few chats there that I need to catch up with. And Tony says, I expected double bangs for the Watford goals, Warren. Well, here we go. Let's just for you, Tony. Let's have another one. There you go, mate. And wow, James will be kicking that and everything. Laugh out loud. I will, man. He's going to be absolutely furious, because I would be. And Spoken Word Poetry says, what is going on with Everton? Absolutely, mate. I mean, that defending was shocking. And there's Everton fans are walking out of the ground already. You can see them like walking towards the exit. Claudio Ranieri's like barking out his orders. He looks a lot calmer than what he did at the start of the game, but he still looks quite stressed. And sparking word poetry, Jamie Hill says they have the same traits as Arsenal. Yeah, man. It's just madness, isn't it? It really is. But I think the problem with Everton is they're lacking quality in back. It's another one! Another goal. There's been another goal. And this goal, once again, has come at Goodison Park. And this time, the goal has gone. Where has it gone? Who's scored the goal? It's Everton 2, Watford 5. And that goal has been scored by King. He's now scored a hat-trick. He scores in the 86th minute. And that goal was assisted by Dennis. Was it Dennis? No, sorry. Dennis scored that goal and João Pedro assisted it. So there you go. So Everton 2, Watford 5. Well, I didn't see that result coming, that's for sure. So let me just update the score sheet. So there you go. It's Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 1, Everton 2, Watford 5, Leeds 0, Wolves 1, and Southampton 2, Burnley 2, as it stands at the moment. But let's have a look. Let's go around the grounds and see what's going on. It's Palace 1, Newcastle 1, and they're in the second minute of injury time there. Everton we know about. Leeds 0, Wolves 1. And they're in the third minute of injury time there. And it's Southampton 2, Burnley 2. And they're in the fourth minute of injury time. So, yeah, it's hotting up. It's certainly hotting up, certainly at Goodison Park. Who would have thought that Everton would lose this game by 5 goals to 2? But Everton have got a free kick on the edge of their penalty area. There's a Watford playing down. He looks like he's hurt his back. But he's up on his back, up on his feet now, thankfully. Oh, that looks like quite nasty. He looks like he went up and landed on his back. But he's up and he's walking about, so that's a good thing. Him and the Watford player and the Everton player both went up for a header. There's a couple of fans that chat with his little son and they don't look happy at all. And Watford have got the ball again, and Hernandez chasing the ball forward, but Everton gained possession of the ball and they played it back to Pickford. Pickford's got the ball. He's playing a long ball forward, and Everton have got possession of the ball, and it goes out through a throw-in to Watford. Everton's Allen conceded the throw in there, and it looks like the game's finished. And Everton have won the game. Everton have lost the game by 5 goals to 2 at home to Claudio Ranieri's Watford. So there you go. The first result of the afternoon. Southampton game has finished. Southampton 2, Burnley 2. And it's still playing at Palace and Newcastle. What a result that is for Watford. My word. There you go. There you have it, guys. It's unbelievable. I didn't see that coming, I have to say. And it's finished at Sellers Park. It's Palace 1, Newcastle 1. So the only game we're waiting on now is the Leeds Watford game. And that's currently still at 1 goal apiece. And then the 5th minute of injury time there. And there's a couple of comments come in. Tony Blackwell says, this is true, Jamie. And Tony Blackwell says, that's me, night made up, Warren. Many thanks. Laugh out loud. You're welcome, mate. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And Tony says, going to start calling you Guy Fawkes from now on. Exactly, mate. Call me Guy Fawkes. Yeah, oh my God. Giddy-O Fawkes. There you go. 5. What the hell has happened to Everton? I think it's called injuries, mate. That's the problem with them. They just haven't got good strength in depth, and I think it's come home to roost today. It really has. And James Dunlop is going to be absolutely furious, that's for sure. So it finished Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1, Everton 2, Watford 5. Southampton 2, Burnley 2. And strangely, it's still playing at... and it's finished now at Leeds. And it's ended Leeds 1, Wolves 1. So we need a bit more... Goal right in the dying seconds of the game. So let's go and have a look at that one. So, yeah, Leeds scored in the 4th minute of injury time, a goal coming from Rodrigo. So there you go, people. Right, so let's go around the grounds and see what the match stats say. So I'm going to stop sharing that. And we're going to go around ground by ground and see what's been going on. So, share window, Chrome tab. So let's go down to St Mary's and see what happened in the Southampton Burnley game. That game finished in a 2-2 draw. Goals coming from Livramento and Broja, and Cornet scored 2 goals for Burnley. And the match stats in that game were that Southampton had 61% possession. They had 16 shots, 4 of which were on target. And Burnley had 9 shots, 5 of which were on target. And Southampton had 6 corners, Burnley had 2. And Southampton committed 10 fouls and Burnley committed 11. So that was the Southampton-Burnley game. So let's stop sharing that one and go to the next one. So, and we're going to go down to Sellers Park now and find out what happened in the Palace-Newcastle game. Benteke scored an equaliser in the 56th minute for Crystal Palace. He scored the opening goal for Crystal Palace in the 56th minute. Wilson scored for Newcastle in the 65th minute. And the match stats for that one was that Palace had 75% possession against Newcastle's 25. Palace had 14 shots and Newcastle had 6. Palace had 3 shots on target and Newcastle had 2. 3 corners for Palace and 7 for Newcastle. 13 fouls committed by Palace and 9 for Newcastle. So there you go, people. So let's go to the next game. So let's stop sharing that and get the next one up. And Everton and Watford. Now, here we go. So Everton 2, Watford 5. Goals for Everton came in the 3rd minute from Davis and one from Richarlison in the 63rd minute. Watford scored 5, a hat-trick for King in that game. His goals came in the 13th, the 80th and the 86th minute. Kuka scored 1 in the 78th minute and Dennis scored 1 in the first minute of injury time to make the score 5-2 to Watford. And the score was 1-1 at half-time in that game. So the match stats were that Everton had 49% possession, Watford had 51, and there were 15 shots from Everton as opposed to Watford's 20, and Everton had 4 shots on target and Watford had 8. Wow. And Everton had 3 corners, Watford had 5, and Everton had committed 8 fouls and Watford conceded 12 fouls. So there you go. So let's move on to the next one and share the screen. And Leeds against Wolves. So this is the last game. And in a minute, I'm going to pull up the league table. So Leeds and Wolves drew 1-1. Wolves took the lead in the 10th minute through Hwang Hee-chan. And then Leeds equalised in the 4th minute of injury time at the end of the game through a goal from Rodrigo. Leeds had 63% possession as up against Wolves 37%. There were 17 shots from Leeds and 8 from Wolves. And there were 4 shots on target from Leeds, 4 on target from Wolves, 6 corners from Leeds and 3 from Wolves, 14 fouls for both sides. So there you go. So let's stop the share. There's one comment coming. Tony says 5. What the hell has happened to Everton? Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It really is. Tony says the Everton game, there wasn't much in it regarding possession as well as shots. Watford must have been more clinical. Yeah, man, definitely. It was a bit of a madness, really. It really was, wasn't it? So let's just get the league table up now. So let's have a look, see how those results have affected the league table. So here we go. Let's get the table. Right, so here we go. So it's the Premier League table as it stands. Chelsea are top with 22 points. Liverpool second with 18. Man City are third with 17. Brighton are back up to 4th with 15. Tottenham are in 5th with 15 points. Manchester United are in 6th with 14. West Ham are in 7th with 14. Like I said, if they win tomorrow, they could conceivably go up to 4th. Everton are 8th with 14, equal on points with Arsenal. Arsenal are in 9th and with 14. Wolves are up to 10th with 13 points. Brentford are in 11th with 12 points. Don't forget, some of these teams are going to be playing tomorrow. Leicester in 12th with 11 points. Villa in 13th with 10 points. Watford are in 14th with 10 points. Palace are in 15th with 9. Southampton are in 16th with 8. Leeds are in 17th with 7. And in the bottom 3, we've got Burnley in 18th with 4. Newcastle in 19th with 4. And bottom of the table, poor old Norwich in 20th place with just 2 points to their name. So there you go. So there you have it, people. So that's it. That's all the games, featured games that we had wrapped up. So well, guys, let me just pull up. Let's just pull up the score sheet again. So there you have it, guys. Another entertaining afternoon in the Premier League. So what did you think? What did you guys think about the results? Tony says, well done today, Warren. Great stream, funny as well, and I hope to catch up with you again soon, mate. Yeah, thanks a lot, Tony. I really enjoyed it as well. It was great. I was quite surprised because I thought it was going to be a bit more tricky than this, to be quite honest, but I really, really enjoyed it. So thanks very much for coming and joining me in the chat. And thanks to Spoken Word Poetry, Jamie Hill. And also thanks to... Is that chap who was here right at the beginning? Yeah, Daniel Summers. Daniel Summers, thanks to you, my friend. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and great evening, great afternoon, whatever you're doing for the rest of your Saturday. Thanks very much, like I say, for coming in and joining me. I'm going to be doing it again next weekend, I believe, with the Old School Gunner. And we're going to be doing it on his channel next week. So I hope you're going to all enjoy that. So like I say, thanks for tuning in. If you've not done so already, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Please remember to put a like on the video. And please remember to pass it around to as many different people as you can. That would be really great if you could do that for me. And just before you go, I just want to give you one more thing to remember the show by. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I couldn't leave the stream without letting you see that one last time. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. It was great fun. I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did too. So thanks very much. I will be doing a stream, hopefully tomorrow, doing a review of Arsenal's match against Aston Villa from last night. So look out for that. But yeah, thanks a lot.